Falcon fans, and of course, Atlanta Falcon fans. You already know what it is. You already know what to do. One time for the fan, man. We back talking Atlanta Falcons football. Little pop-up breakfast with One Time for the Fan podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, Amazon Podcast, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Where do we begin? Falcon fans, just want to say good morning to everybody here who's tuned in, watching with us, who's tuned in, listening to One Time for the Fan. As you know, before we even get to what happened yesterday, big shout out to T Will. You know, T Will's dealing with a lot right now. So definitely keep T Will and his family in your prayers. Also, big shout out to Miss Carrie, One Time for the Fan. And also Bodie 3002 as well. But yeah, before we get started too as well on this show, we just want to go ahead and let y'all know that, One Time for the Fan, we've been doing this for a long time, right? And we've been through some ups and downs, which I'm sure a lot of the fan base has been through some ups and downs too as well. And we're glad that we're all here together, trying to do the best we can to, keep this fan base, close, especially represent this team and represent, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in the city of Atlanta. And of course, wherever you're repping and you're rocking with the Falcons, we definitely want to give a shout out to everybody who puts on that red and black every game day to go watch this team. But Falcon fans, we got to have a little chat here about what the hell is going on with the Atlanta Falcons. So if you're here early, go ahead and hit that like button. If you're on Facebook, hit that like button. YouTube, hit that like button. Twitter, hit that like button, or repost, reshare, whatever you got to do. Put it out there for your friends, for your family, so everybody can jump in and talk some Falcons football with us. We got my boy Dwayne Ruffin already in the chat. He said, "What? We in this thing early? Man, we are in here talking Atlanta Falcons football." My boy, look, DSGB Hall's in the chat too as well. In here talking Falcons football early with the one-time emoji. Shout out to you, DSGB Hall. Shout out to you, Dwayne Ruffin. Got some more people watching and listening. And a lot of times you get a lot of fans who's watching the podcast or, just tuning into the podcast and don't want to comment because they feel like, they're going to say something that's going to get fans upset or something like that. Just go ahead and drop a rise up in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and drop, where you're checking in from in the chat, where you watching the show. Season ticket holders, rep your section here in the chat too as well. Like, turn up with us here this morning on One Time for the Fan. I know we have our Sunday shows at 8. I know we have our Wednesday shows at 8 and our Friday shows, breakfast with One Time for the Fan early morning around 9 or so. But with the work schedule and everything that's been happening, of course, in my life and everything, we all are dealing with too as well, it's kind of difficult to get to some of these shows. So a pop-up show like this is definitely needed. You know what I'm saying? Especially during a time where the Atlanta Falcons are not doing well. And we're noticing a lot of talk amongst the Falcon fans in the groups and, how they been playing pretty much this season. And I know there's some fans that's really upset with the team so far. So Breakfast with One Time for the Fan is here for a pop-up show. And I can tell you this, that we'll be back, of course, this Friday. I don't work this Friday. So we'll be back this Friday talking Falcons football with everybody once again on Breakfast with One Time for the Fan. But let's get straight to it, man. Atlanta Falcons are eliminated, which I'm sure some fans who gave up earlier in the season kind of felt like, oh, well, we was already eliminated back 2-3 weeks ago. Well, we're now officially eliminated for the fans that didn't know. How disappointed are you as a Falcon fan? For those that's watching, for those that's listening, please go ahead and drop the comments in the chat. Falcons lose to the Seahawks 37-9. I'll say this again. The Falcons lose to the Seahawks 37-9. And this is not only a loss that Falcon fans will remember this season, this is an embarrassing loss, Falcon fans, because you went into the half, and I believe the score was 6-6. Dirty Birds. You come out from the half, and of course, Seattle tacks on touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. And it makes Seattle fans in there, which I will say the 12s didn't travel too deep, right? And for the fans that didn't go to the game, that kept looking around and saying, oh, it was packed. And, we can definitely hear y'all making noise on TV. That wasn't us. Damn sure wasn't us. It looked like it was damn Seattle Seahawk fans over there on that visiting side. But to see all the Seahawk fans, even at 10-3, they didn't travel super deep like they normally do in the past. Tickets were dirt cheap too as well, but a lot of Falcon fans decided to sit this one out. Even when I got off the train going down to the stadium, getting off the MARTA, there wasn't too much going on with the tailgates. You didn't really see the fan experience at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It was pretty much, you just going for the entertainment at that point, because a lot of fans did believe we wasn't going to win this game. But then in the first quarter, holding the team to 3 points and making it 6-6 at the half, you kind of felt like, hey, maybe we can come back in the second half and put this team away. Sure enough, that didn't happen as the Falcons came out the locker room in the second half and just got blown the F out. But yeah, 37-9, Seahawks go to 10-3, Falcons fall to 4-9. And the hopes of a 10-win season is definitely not going to happen. Hell, the hopes of even having a 9-win season at this point is definitely not going to happen. But still, Jack Spade is here representing and rocking with the Atlanta Falcons, because my biggest thing is, and shout out to Christy Lewis that's here in the chat too as well. My biggest thing is, what are we going to do in the offseason that's going to make this team better, right? We're going to release a couple players here and there. We're going to sign a couple free agents. We're going to try to hit the draft class with what we got. Is Terry Fontenot going to be here? Is Raheem Morris going to be here? Like, let's start from the top. But I got to hear it from the chat. Like Christy Lewis says, we are here, the fans. We are just tired. Hopefully you was there yesterday, Christy, because when I looked around, I was like, what in the hell? Walked into the stadium. I saw a Big Little Country over there. And I had a conversation with him, and he was like, this is sad to see the Mercedes-Benz like this. And I'm sure, some of the people that sit in that front office over there at Mercedes-Benz, they got to think about the same thing too. It's been 8 seasons in a drought. 8 seasons. I think we tied the longest NFL or franchise record of losing seasons. 8 seasons in the drought. And Jarnell, before you come in here and start, yip yapping about, the Jaguars or even Alabama, who got blown out by Georgia the other day. We're not even going to get to that. But the Jaguars, I'm sure you're going to come in here and, say some things about them getting a big win over the Indianapolis Colts once Daniel Jones went down. Jaguars sitting at 9-4. We see you, Jarnell. We understand. You're a Jags fan. You're a Bama fan. You're an Arizona Diamondbacks fan. You're a Colorado Avalanche fan. You're a Chicago Bulls fan. So many jerseys in your closet there. But we understand that, this Atlanta Falcons team needs some help, right? And it has to go to the front office first. Because if anybody walked out of that stadium from the front office feeling good about, oh yeah, we made this amount of money today with the fans, with the ticket prices and the drinks and the beer and the food, F that. The product on the field just wasn't good. And you have to go back. You got to go look at this thing and start from the top, man. We need some changes within the organization. Got my boy, who's that? Alberto in the chat. Can we change uniforms, please, or go back to the previous uniform? You can bring out new uniforms right now. Can you win some goddamn games? That's the way I'm looking at it. I'm sure fans want to see the throwback helmets and some throwback uniforms. Now, with you, Berto, I want to see some, some throwback uniforms, or this, if they put in a bid to get new uniforms. But you changing up the uniforms, but the team's still not winning. Where is that going to go? Because we brought back some of the, you know, some of the uniforms and some of the, the throwbacks, earlier this year. And sure enough, fans were excited to go in there and purchase some of the gear and stuff like that, get some of the merchandise. But what is going on the field? I mean, we look good, but can you play good? Berto, you look good, but can you play good? Jarno said, bring in Shadur and Dion. What is that going to do? What is that going to do? Right? I mean, you're probably looking for that father and son situation where, hey, Dion can go out there and coach his son like he did at Colorado, get this Falcons team back on track. I can't even say that would help. There was some problems that you've seen throughout the season that maybe it was a Raheem thing, right? He said sell tickets. Man, we trying to win these goddamn games, man. You trying to put people in the stands. We have a team that on paper fans already know how good this Falcons team is. From Jesse Bates to AJ Terrell to that draft class to even when Michael Penix got out there, when people was yelling his name too as well. I mean, you bring in Shadur, yeah, you're going to put some butts in some seats, but the moment you go 1-3, they're not showing up. The moment you lose a couple games, where's the fan base? Because yesterday you can clearly see that at 4-9, they ain't finna show up. They might be there for that Saints game at the end of the year. But hey, just like Raheem said, we got to find a way to win. We got to find a way to not only sell tickets and put some butts in some seats, but we got to find a way to win. It's been 8 seasons, man. I can't bank 8 seasons of losing that Dion and Shadur can just come in here and change it. I can't do that. I just can't. There's a lot of things that need to change. The culture right here needs to change too as well. So a lot of stuff happening in Atlanta that is just disappointing when when you're going to this Falcons, when you go to one of these Falcons games, man. A lot of stuff, man. Like we've had this thing where we haven't had a home field advantage in years at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Couple games here and there, you might, even at the 6-3 point last year, we didn't really have a home field advantage, right? Remember those Georgia Dome days, Falcon fans, with Matt Ryan? That was a home field advantage, right? I know you might say, oh, yeah, but we were winning. Yeah, there were some games where we wasn't winning too as well, and the fans still showed up. Is it the pricing of the tickets that fans just want to show to? Because I was in New Orleans a couple weeks ago for a 2-9 team. A 2-9 team out there in New Orleans had the flipping stadium packed, singing and dancing and carrying on, all because they scored a touchdown on the field. I'm talking about, I was looking around like, I know these jokers ain't up at 2-9 acting like this. Then again, you go over there to the Jet Stadium. We saw the other day with the Falcons and the Jets play, there wasn't a damn body in the stadium. Hell, there was probably more concession stand workers and parking lot attendants than in the parking lot than the fans that had in the stands. But Falcon fans, man, we just gotta, we gotta be ready for next season, man. That's the way I look at it. And this season right here is pretty much a wash. It's done. It's over. Which I put on the podcast last week. I had already said the season's in the books. We're just waiting for the final game of the year. And it's disappointing because before this season started, we were promised a lot of things. Remember last season when it was supposed to be us outrunning the South? What the hell happened to that? We were supposed to outrun the South. They canned it this season. No, we're not going to outrun the South. No, we're not going to do that. This year, we're going to go out there and play football and win games. That's what we're going to do. Well, we're playing football. We're just not winning games. 4-9 on the season. This is disappointing. And there's some fans that's going to say, why y'all keep showing up to the games? Shit, I show up to the game for entertainment at this point, especially this year. 2 home wins this year. And I ain't gonna lie, I saved a lot of money not going on these road games too as well. I mean, I love traveling with the team. I've done it for years. I've been to 20 stadiums. Next year, I get a chance to go to a couple more stadiums to add to my list. There's a rumor I heard from a bird that there's a rumor we could be playing internationally again next year. So maybe possibly going back to Germany as the home team. maybe playing in another country. You never know. But I heard from a bird that we could be possibly playing an international game. And don't even think about next schedule. Like, oh, don't worry about it, man. We just got to come out and fight, and we gonna go out there and whip some of these teams next year. You got a tough ass schedule next year. I'm telling you right now, you got a very tough schedule. Which people would say every game is going to be a tough game, but looking at the schedule right now, you got a tough game, tough season ahead. Fans in the chat talking Falcons football. My boy Alberto said, it's like a fresh new haircut. New uniforms can change the confidence. You look good, but can you play good? It's been 8 seasons. You look good, but can you play good? Big shout out to Alberto in the chat too. So Alberto Molina, man. Big shout out to you, man. 80. Who's this? At 89 Candy Kisses. At 89 Kevin Kiss. Kevin, what? You doing this show, but did you cook Meg breakfast? Is that who I think it is? Let me see. I don't see Kev in the background. Oh, wait. Kev took the picture. Big shout out to Kiki in the chat. Big shout out to Sterling Woods in the chat. We had a pep rally and all that too. We had a pep rally? Where was the pep rally, Sterling Woods? Where? You talking about down there? We're in New Orleans? Or you talking about yesterday? Please don't tell me there was a pep rally yesterday. Where was it at? Big shout out to Sterling Woods. Hopefully it was on the damn field before the game. But we're going to get to a lot today on One Time for the Fan. Once again, big shout out to T-Will, One Time for the Fan. Big shout out to Miss Carrie, One Time for the Fan. Don't forget, keep T-Will and his family in your prayers as he's going through a lot right now. He might pop in with us this morning. He might not. Carrie might pop in with us this morning. She might not. But I was just talking to Carrie not too long ago too as well. A lot of people are disappointed, man. DSGB Halls in the chat. What happened to us not drafting high again? Sheesh. Talk about the promises, right? Right, Ernest? We're not going to be picking in the top 8 because we let go of the damn draft pick. That's why. You ain't got to worry about that no more. But at the end of the day, fans talking about the first round pick next year, bro, it's James Pierce Jr. Like, let's just go ahead and nip that. Let's just go ahead and just, put the X on that about fans talking about we don't have a first round draft pick next year. Bro, we traded up this season to get James Pierce Jr., and that this is clearly working out. So I'm not even worried about that at this moment. Because if you're looking for a quarterback in the first round next year with that number 8 pick, that ain't happening. And I hope Falcon fans don't think about, we got to trade this guy to move up to the top 15 to go get a quarterback first round. Because ain't now one of these college quarterbacks looking right now like a first rounder. Tell you right now. Now one of them. And please don't say Alabama quarterback because Georgia just embarrassed that dude the other day. But I'm just letting you know right now, Falcon fans, what do we need to do to get better in the offseason? Like, I want to hear it from the fans. One time for the fans, from the fan, for the fan. I want to hear it from y'all in the chat. What do we need to do to get better next season? Because we're going to lose some players, right? We're going to lose some players that people really wanted to have here in Atlanta. And they're going to be on their way. We're not even going to have the Jesse Bates conversation right now because we brought this man in from Cincinnati who was playing in the Super Bowl with the Bengals. Playing in the Super Bowl with the Bengals. I don't care if they lost. Playing in the Super Bowl with the Bengals to come over here to Atlanta and gave that man 4 years of, hey, man, you're going to help us rebuild this and get this back on track and do this, that, and the third. Man, we ain't had a damn winning season since Matt Ryan. How long ago is it? 8 years? How you think Jesse Bates feel? How you think Kyle Pitts feel? We owe Kyle Pitts an apology too as well. What do he have, like 6 quarterbacks since he's been drafted? A lot of these players, we don't know what the end of the season is going to bring for these guys. But for me, if I'm a player looking to win, what is Atlanta giving me right now? Some money? Get a little contract here and there? Any team would pay me to go be this type of player that I am. But can you go out there and win games? A lot of these teams are going to be targeting some of these players that's going into their contract year. Terry Fontenot going to have to sell the bank. You have to sell that Centennial Yards to some of these players. I know they got the new hotel, and the new Mitchell ATL, and they got the new Cosm building being built, and the new 4 or 5 level bar, restaurant, lounge, retail area to get ready to build up. But you got to sell more than that to get these players still back there. And traffic getting even worse these days. Took a man from a team that went to the Super Bowl and brought him over here 4 years, ain't even smelt the playoffs. And we got to pay him coming up. Come on now. Chrissy Lewis is in the chat. I'm in Mississippi. But on TV at the end of the third quarter, the stands look empty on both sides. I was telling fans that. I know some people would say, oh, they go to the bars and they go take pictures and they go hang out with their friends and their family. Man, that shit was empty, dog. That shit was empty. Show me a picture. Here's the thing about it, Falcon fans. Tag your Falcon friends and tell your Falcons family. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Let's go ahead and tag them in. Let's bring them in the chat here. Let's all talk about it. Who went to the game yesterday? Was the stadium full? Was the stadium empty? Here's the thing, Falcon fans. The night before, it was 75,000 people in the building. Most of them are Falcon fans. The Georgia Bulldogs and the Alabama Crimson Tide. A lot of them are Falcon fans. Alabama don't got no NFL team. I know a lot of Alabama fans who are Atlanta Falcon fans. I know a lot of Georgia Bulldog fans who are Atlanta Falcon fans. And it was 75,000 people in the stadium the night before. And the next day, it looked like 7,500, man. I'm telling you right now. I walked in there. I was looking at, bro, where are these folks at? What is going on here? We got to fix this, man. We have to fix this, Falcon fans. And I know people's going to say, we got to win games. The Saints have a packed stadium damn near every week. They ain't winning no damn games. I know they beat the Bucs yesterday, but earlier this season, they wouldn't win no damn games. But they still showed up to watch the team play. But we ain't coming up in there for, oh, no, we 4-9. Oh, no, we 3-4. Oh, no, we 1-3. We ain't showing up. I feel you. I get it. Sterling Woods, the NFL is not embarrassed by the Falcons for us to have another international game. Man, they just trying to sell tickets, man. They saw the video from the international games this year, people going to the NFL shop and buying up all the merch. Even when you go to these international games, I went to the one in England a couple years ago when we played the Jags. I was sitting next to a Bengals fan, a Patriot fan, a Texans fan, a Jets fan, a Panther fan, and they were all rugby guys. They just got the jersey from the NFL shop. They didn't know shit about what's going on in the field. They kept asking me, hey, lad, what's going on down there? What's going on over there on the field there, lad? I said, they're playing football. Oh, they're playing football. Oh, okay. What team's playing? The Atlanta Falcons and the Jacksonville. And the who was it? Was it the Jags? Yeah, the London Jags. The Atlanta Falcons and the London Jags. Oh, yeah, lad. I've never heard of those teams before, lad. That's what they were telling me. They didn't know shit about what was going on in the field, but they all wearing NFL jerseys. It's about making money, man. They got games in Brazil. I done been to Brazil. They don't give a shit about American football. They're just trying to sell a market. They're trying to get fans to go international and go over and all that stuff. If you guys ever been to Brazil, go to Brazil. It is soccer. Their club teams in Rio, in Sao Paulo, they're club teams, not their international soccer team, Team Brazil, not the international team. Their club teams have a bigger fan base than what you see in the NFL. They're club teams. CF Flamingo, Sao Paulo, them. I forget the other teams over there. Team stores on every corner. You can buy tickets from the team store. A friend hit me up the other day and said, yo, I'm trying to buy some Falcons gear. Where do I go? I said, you got to go to the team store, Atlantic Station. We don't have the market out here like that. Like even my friend who's down there in Augusta said they walked into I think it was in a mall or a Walmart or something. They were selling Braves and Dogs gear. Falcons gear being sold. We got to change this. That's one thing we got to change. Christy Lewis, you understand better than most how expensive traveling has become. No one wants to keep taking off work, spending money for lodging, food, tickets, etc. for losses. Hey, Christy Lewis, I totally understand. And for me, I'm a diehard Atlanta Falcon fan. I'm pretty sure, you've probably been here on the channel a lot to see that. Last season, I was going to every other game. I've been to 20 stadiums, and I'm going to continue to keep traveling. But even this year, fans asked me, you heading to Tampa yet? I said, nah, I ain't heading to Tampa, dog. Well, earlier in the season, I already knew I was going to be traveling that much because my son was playing football. So now that that's being taken care of, it's like you can still travel and go to the games. And fans ask me, Jack, you going to Tampa? No, I'm not going to Tampa. Yo, Jack, what's up, man? We in Arizona. You going to Arizona? No, I'm not going to Arizona. I'll wait till next season. I forget who we got. We got the Ravens home and we got the Steelers home. I think we go to Cincinnati and we go to Cleveland. And then we got the Lions home. I'm going to pull up in a minute. We got the Lions home and the Vikings home. We go to Green Bay and Chicago. So I need to get Green Bay off my list. That's number one. Cleveland, I've been to Cleveland too as well. I've been to Cincinnati too as well. But there's an AFC West team. I think we go to Kansas City next year, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to get a chance to see all that too as well. My boy DSGB Hall's in the chat too as well. They're laughing. We over here making jokes about old Kev. Old Kiki and Kev, old Kavara and Kev. Lil Kavina's on the way. Big shout out to Lil Kavina. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Sterling Woods, Rod said we were a quarterback away from being in the playoffs. What happened? Man, let me tell you something. We haven't even got to the Raheem Morris situation. My boy called him Dick Django the other day. I said, what? Don't do that. My boy called him Dick Django. What do we have to do to get better this offseason, Falcon fans? Because clearly the Falcons are not going to fire Raheem Morris on a short week. Now, some fans can keep going and saying, traditionally, we've had a coach here for 3 years when you got Arthur Blank in the building. 3 years is a head coach. Normally keeps his job in the ATL. But this season is calling for a lot of Falcon fans to say, F that 3-year deal crap. Get him out of here now. We're 4-9. We're losing close games. We're losing games even down the stretch. We're losing games in overtime. Hell, we're getting blown out in the second quarter in some games. Goddamn Carolina Panther game, we didn't even show up. Week 3, we didn't even show up. What is going to change in the offseason to make this team better? Right? Christy Lewis is back in the chat too as well. I am not looking forward to drafts and free agency unless there is a coaching change. So right there, Christy Lewis has already said, don't forget, draft and free agency comes after that Black Monday, after the season is over. That final, Super Bowl Sunday, you get the day right after where coaches get fired, a lot of coaching changes. She's not looking forward to the drafts and the free agency just yet until there's a coaching change. Why look to that if they will be subject to the same leadership we have now? And the crazy thing about it is too as well, Christy, that you've heard in previous press conferences that Raheem mentioned we got to look at the off-season plan. And when you hear words like that, the off-season plan, especially when they talked about Michael Penix and the quarterback for next year, the off-season plan, Raheem. So you're preparing for next summer. I know what you did last summer, but you're preparing for next summer. Is that what I'm hearing, Raheem? Because Christy Lewis she has a point. If Raheem Morris is the head coach next year, what are fans going to be expecting? I thought we were supposed to outrun the South last year. I thought we wasn't supposed to be picking in the top 10 this year. Fans are not getting what they want. And when it comes to the head coach situation, Falcon fans, let's talk about this. What head coach is available? I was just talking with some Falcon fans this morning. What head coach is available? I know we keep going over the head coach situation, but who is available? Don't throw these Madden coaches out of here. Don't throw these damn fantasy football coaches up out of here. I ain't coaching the damn Falcons. I love my team now. I ain't coaching them, though. Who could be the next head coach of the Falcons? Get right out of here, we say. But who is the next head coach? The two coaches who got fired this year in the NFL, you don't want to have as your head coach. Nobody wants Brian DeBoer as their head coach right now. You want the guy, what was the guy's name from Tennessee who got fired? You want him as your head coach right now? I don't. So that's why some fans do believe that that 3-year deal that Arthur Blank usually gives their coaches before he gets rid of them is going to happen. Give Ra the other year. That's what fans are going to be looking at. Ra's staying for another year. Sterling Woods, get Ra and Zach away from here. I'm totally with it. But I have to ask, who would be the next head coach? People say, go get the Packers the Packers coach, LaFleur. You got to go get LaFleur. You think LaFleur is stepping away from the Packers deal to come coach the Falcons right now? With the success he's having in Green Bay? Not saying they're winning championships. Hell, they're getting ready to go to the playoffs. I don't see that happening. Go get Mike McDaniels in Miami. Maybe, maybe not. But I've always said this, man. A lot of coordinators, sometimes coordinators can't be good head coaches. Sometimes head coaches are better off as coordinators. Raheem is one of those guys. He hasn't had the success as a head coach, but as like an assistant, as a coordinator, he's had a little bit of success there. So for Raheem, it's like fans are like, bro, you can't coach this team. It's literally slipping away from you right now. Like it's literally looking like this team does not even want to show up out there. Remember Kirk Cousins said in the interview the other day, the mystery injuries pop up when you have a losing record around this time of the year. Remember the mystery injuries? Players on day-to-day and healthy scratches, and they don't know if they want to play. It's 4-9. You're 4-9. Are you finna go out here and put your body on the line for this team when we can't even win games? There were players out there yesterday while I was sitting there thinking, man, please get this guy off the field. We need him next year. Please get this guy off the field. And then there was players out there on the field yesterday. I was thinking, like, please get this guy off the field because he does not need to be an Atlanta Falcon. I keep saying some of this stuff, man. I don't like, this is a positive podcast, right? This is a group of podcasters here from me, myself, Carrie, T. Will. We love the Atlanta Falcons. And me, I'm a diehard season ticket holder, PSL holder. I'm always going to be there rooting on my team. I'm going to be in that building as much as I can because I do like rocking with the Atlanta Falcons. And I don't call out players. We got player family who watch the show. We got some players who tune into the show. I'm not going to be rude and disrespectful at all. But there are some things that they probably see in that locker room that we see here on the podcast. And there are a couple people that should not be wearing an Atlanta Falcons uniform. Not going to say any names, but we can see from as recent games, there are some people that should not be here as an Atlanta Falcon next year. And if they do end up back in the Atlanta Falcons uniform, it's like, well, what are we doing? That's one of the problems right there. We got to get this thing going, man. We got to get back on track. The good thing about it yesterday, food was great. That dog race, what's them type of dogs? What are they called? That damn dog race had the damn stadium going crazy in there yesterday. It's stuff like that I come to the game for, apparently now, because we're 4-9. The food was great. The drinks were great. Hanging with the homies was great. I was some of my homeboys from Atlanta United yesterday. Brought them to the game with me. Big shout out to Atlanta United. They're getting ready to have I think a fantastic season. They got a new head coach. Matter of fact, the Atlanta Falcons might need to go ahead and look into this. And Arthur Blank knows about this too as well. The Atlanta United fans have been calling for a new head coach. They've been having trouble ever since they got rid of Tata long ago, and they just went on a slump. They brought in this Alex DeBoer guy. They brought in the guy from Ajax football club in Amsterdam. They brought in the other coach. Then they had another coaching change. Then they fired him in the middle of the season. And what did Arthur Blank go do this year? He went and brought back Tata Martino. He went and brought back the head coach who got them a championship in 2018. And the Atlanta United fans are going crazy. They know that there can be a big Big season ahead for the Five Stripes. In our building, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. The fan base was calling for that. I remember seeing it. I go to a lot of Atlanta United games. And shout out to the supporters group, Footy Mob, Terminus Legion, all them. Shout out to the supporter section over there with the Atlanta United. They were calling for it, the raising of ticket prices and season ticket prices, and there's not a winning team. Soccer fans are a different breed, bro. They are a different breed. If they call for somebody to be fired, that person is fired. We're not showing up. We're not waving flags. We will not show up to the tailgates and the pep rallies. We won't even kick the soccer ball around in the parking lot. It's not happening. Fire this guy. Get him out of here. And it's done like that. But it seems here in Atlanta for the Falcons, we constantly get on social media. We constantly get on these podcasts. We constantly get on these videos. We watch content creators continuously rank on this coaching staff, and still no changes have been made. Maybe they're waiting to the end of the season. Can't fast forward time to say so, but maybe they are waiting to the end of the season. I talked to a friend of mine today. I was like, they're not going to fire Raheem on a short week. So maybe it happens after we win or lose against the Bucs, which most fans are thinking right now. We're finna lose against the Bucs. The way we played yesterday, we're losing against the Bucs. Are the Falcons tanking? I don't want to think that they're tanking because there's a lot of players who's throwing their body on the line out there, making tackles. James Pierce Jr. is going crazy right now. Jalen Walker and some of the defense that you saw yesterday get Sam Darnold on the ground. But then there was some other players out there you're looking like, what in the hell is going on? That ain't my team. My boy texted me yesterday and said, boy, I look like the Jets. I said, boy, stop. And I thought about it. I said, oh, shit, he might have a point. Christy Lewis in the chat. Other fans are in the chat too as well. Chime in. What do we need to do this offseason to get back on track? We're talking Falcons football here. And we're talking Falcons football in a positive way. Don't bash any players, right? We're not going to be disrespectful to anybody because these guys, they're fighting hard for the fan base. Like I told you, there's a lot of player family who watches the show. There's probably a few players that, from training camp, from what I see, they watch the show. But let's be respectful here. But also, let's get to the business. Let's talk about these Atlanta Falcons. Chris Lewis said, what do we need to do? New coaching staff. I don't see free agency players wanting to come here under this Ramo. That's his nickname, Ramo, Raheem Moore. Ramo. My homeboy called him Django. John Brooks is in the chat. Yo, what up, everybody? John Brooks. John Brooks is in the chat, ready to talk some Falcons football. 89 Candy Kisses. That first round pick take is lazy. I can see if it was a bad pick, but Pierce has been one of the highlights of the season. I'm not on the trade superstar players for this first round pick stuff. I don't know who's been saying it. I saw a couple of videos written randomly recently, and people talk about it. And hey, it's cool to get a couple retweets here and there and a couple likes and comments. But bro, don't even think about pulling a Saquon Barkley here for a first round draft pick. Whoever you're going to go draft right now, and I did see that Terry Fontenot was walking around the field for the Georgia-Alabama game. Maybe he sees something he want to bring into Atlanta. Maybe he sees something he like. You never know. But I'm not all for, hey, man, Bijan's tearing his body up. Got to get him out of here, man. Got to rebuild this team. Rebuilding this team is not letting go of Bijan Robinson. I'm telling you right now. You'd be a damn fool to think that rebuilding this team starts with trading Bijan Robinson. Respectfully, no beef here against anybody else who's called for that, but I'm just saying, you got to be out of your mind. That's a Madden move right there. That's when you go trade Bijan and you go put the other players over there on the other side, and you see that red bar where it's not fully green. You know that trade bar where it's like, oh, we can't trade this guy. You might want to think about that because they're trying to tell you, even on the video game, that's ridiculous. So don't bring it to real life saying, oh, man, we can get 3-4 draft picks for this guy. And then do what? You're going to trust this organization to go draft the right guy with these 3-4 draft picks and you just traded your best player? Absolutely not. I said on my post the other day, pay the man, play the man until 2055. I don't care if Bijan's 60 years old. Pay the man, play him. Bijan could be 55 years old at running back. Play him. 31. Put him in the game. That's what I got to say about that. Don't trade that man. Drake London, let that man sit out for the rest of the season and pay that man at the end of the year. Pay him. Tyler Algier, we owe you an apology. From the Atlanta Falcons organization, we owe you an apology, but hopefully you can get paid this year too as well. If it's with us or if it's not, Tyler Algier, we honestly know that we rock with you, bro. We really and truly rock with you, my good friend. The fan base rocks with you, Tyler. This is the thing from the organization where they, saw you get 1,000 yards and went ahead and did what? Bring in another running back who honestly the Falcon fans love. But both of y'all, that two-headed monster, keep them here in Atlanta. I think they can do some damage with a real offensive coordinator. And we're going to get to that too as well. We're going to get to Raheem with this coaching tree because I got something to tell y'all about that. Candy Kev's in the chat. Saints fans don't have shit to do but football. The Pelicans or Big Freedom. Oh my gosh. Yeah, let me tell you something. I haven't been down there too many times in New Orleans. And the Pelicans are trash. So I get why they do show up to, LSU games so strong, or they do show up to the Saints Stadium, the Super Dump so strong. But then again, they do show up. And I want my fan base to show up. I remember I was in Cleveland a couple years ago. And that Cleveland team was bad. That Cleveland team was bad. Shit was packed. Just telling you what I saw. Maggie T Productions in the chat. Maggie T. Big shout out to Maggie T Productions. Good morning. Good morning to you, Miss Maggie T. Big shout out to Maggie T in the chat. We got the ladies. We got the lady bears in here this morning. Auntie Pam, we need your assistance. You call for Bijan. Auntie Pam, we need some help with the draft. Who we going to draft? Christian Lewis, we got the Steelers at home. I believe we do. Let me see. Let me see who we got next year. I remember they put it out there. Who's our home teams? Who's our home games? Next year, Carolina home, New Orleans home, Tampa home, at Carolina, at Cleveland, at Green Bay, at Minnesota, at Pittsburgh. We got Pittsburgh on the road. We got an NFC East team on the road. We got an AFC West team at the Benz, at Green Bay, at Minnesota, at Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Cincinnati come to the house. Detroit, Chicago come to the house. Grady Jarrett back in the Benz. Big shout out to the Jarrett family too as well, man. Big shout out to the Grady Jarrett family. It's going down in a major way. Christian T said, at Maggie T, at Auntie Pam, good morning, Lady Birds of AFN, Atlanta Falcons Nation. They're in the house. Hey, Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button, not only for one time for the fan, but you definitely want to head over there to the Lady Birds of AFN. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button for them too as well. It's really cool when you got Falcon fans talking Falcons football in a major way over there with the Lady Birds. So please head over there too as well and show them your love. With Sterling Woods in the chat. There's something going on in that locker room. You can tell by the looks on their faces. Well, you got rid of Ike Hilliard. So maybe there's something going on with the wide receiver group there, with the coaching staff. You got the special teams department over here giving up touchdowns and got the shit last week with the Jets where dudes catching the punt, catching the whatever on the 5-yard line. You bench the Pro Bowl player or you healthy scratch the Pro Bowl player, Cordell Hodge. I don't know what's going on over there. I don't know what's going on with this team. And I still didn't find out who the hell Jeff Ulbrich was yelling at last week in New York when they had to hold him back. Who was he going at? Bro, Jeff Ulbrich was fired up. And I don't think it was anything with the refs. It was something on that sideline with Jeff Ulbrich last week. And of course, the way that the organization's been lying, they're going to downplay. Oh, he was mad about the pizza. The pizza didn't come out in time. It was too pricey. Some nonsense, some BS story. They won't even tell us. Remember the situation with Koo this year? They lied. They lied to us. Oh, he's healthy. He's good. He's ready to go. Koo was never ready to go. He was ready to go to another team. He wasn't ready to go to start the season. And we kept him here. I remember there was some Koo fans that was like, oh, Koo is the next Matt Bryant. Where? Where was he the next Matt Bryant? Where? After that injury, we kind of seen it. Changed the mechanics of his kicking stance and everything and he was missing kicks last year. Went into this offseason, got the international guy from Germany. Dude told me to my face in training camp that he can kick 70 yards. And the Falcons never put him out there. Falcons had kicking problems throughout most of the season. And we saw what Koo did the other day with the Giants. We knew that was getting ready to happen. So let's just put that out there. Got to hit the free agency hard this offseason too as well. Got to bring some players, got to build some depth. A lot of injuries happen for the Atlanta Falcons there. Key injuries too as well. Your number 2 receiver was down since training camp. Lied about that. Your number 1 receiver is down right now. And honestly, for me, and this is where it's not like personal, but honestly, for me, this is where I'm disappointed. My boy Chris Blair, right? We've seen what Chris Blair has done in the preseason, right? And it's not because of like the whole Easton stick thing. It's not because whatchamacallit was running the show over there. TJ Yates was running the offense in preseason. Chris Blair is a good player. Nick Nash too as well. We continue to bring up guys that we've never heard of. And they put us in these positions like what you saw yesterday, missing wide open catches. Last week against the Jets on that drive to come back to go win the game, missing, I don't care if you scored a touchdown or not, missing passes in the middle of the field. Now look at this. Now look where we're at, Falcon fans. Beating the Jets last week could have helped us just a little bit. I understand what happened earlier this year, but beating the Jets last week could have helped us just a little bit. Had a 2-game win streak going in today. And then the Saints go and beat the Tampa Bay Bucks yesterday. Them same 2-9 Saints go and beat the Tampa Bay Bucks. Bucks dropped to 7-6. That is a game I would have never even expected was going to happen. Bucks losing at home to the New Orleans Saints. Bucks fans went into that game and said, they're 2-10. We're going to smack them. We're going to beat them. They went in there and got the W. Now Bucks are like, oh, guess what we get to take it out on? Oh, they got us Thursday night. They can't change that game too as well, Falcon fans. I know some fans are like, do we have to play the Thursday night game? At this point, we do. Falcon fans, we just got to do something. McAtee said, I think they gave up on the coach. Something is going on in that locker room. Something is going on. And this isn't a week 12 problem. This is a problem that's been happening, I think, since the beginning of the season. I personally think since the beginning of the season, this has been happening. So let's take it from the top here, Falcon fans. Just going down in a major way. Got my boy T. Will in here. Got my boy, who's that T. Will? Got Miss Carrie up in here. Hi, Falcon fans. Big shout out to Miss Carrie. See if we get T. Will in here. See if we get T. Willie. T. Will, former ATO Sports, one time for the fans. Go ahead and get this link set up for you, T. Will. Falcon fans, go ahead and hit that like, share, and subscribe button. This is just a pop-up breakfast with one time for the fan. I'm not going to spend my morning on my off day sitting over here ranking on these Falcons. I can tell you that right now. I'm finna go and get on, this GTA in a minute. It's already 50 minutes into the podcast. I'm going to go get on this 2K in a minute. Got to pick up the kids from school later on. Got to get ready to go to the grocery store, get some stuff for dinner and everything. I'm going to enjoy my day. You want to know why? Because the Georgia Bulldogs won on Saturday. That's why. You know, we love our Georgia Bulldogs. You know, we love our Georgia Bulldogs. I got you, T. Will. You can check the chat. Who are we going to move on from if we bring in a new head coach? And I was telling some people this morning, a lot of times it's going to be a coordinator that you probably never expected to even get interviewed for the job. It's not going to be Brian DeBoer. Nobody's calling for Brian DeBoer. It's not going to be what's that dude's name from the Titans? It's not going to be Buddy. It's not going to be Bill Belichick. The one coach that fans have been talking about, Mike McCarthy. Get Mike McCarthy in here. He will change everything. Does Mike McCarthy want to come coach the Atlanta Falcons? I love how we, throw out these names. A lot of times it's going to be like Falcons have interviewed the Houston Texans defensive coordinator. Who? Falcons are interviewing the Los Angeles Chargers special teams coach. What? That's what happens. We got to wait till the end of the season. And even if we wait till the end of the season, it wasn't like how it was a couple years ago where we needed a head coach. You was hearing about these things weeks into playing out, like going into January. Oh, the Falcons getting ready to interview this guy. It would be a great fit for the Falcons. You got to think about this in February after that Black Monday. If the Falcons need a head coach, they got to go on like that month and a half search and quickly go get a guy. Quickly trust that the new head coach can go ahead and make it happen. Unless they do what? Start making calls now, which I don't think is allowed in the NFL. And that boy T was sports one.
Good morning, Mr. Jack Spade. Good morning, everybody. How you doing, man?
Man, I am cooling. I'm feeling good about today. Just waking up, enjoying life. Not too good about yesterday with the Atlanta Falcons, but that's what we're in here talking about on the podcast this morning. Quick pop-up podcast, breakfast with one time for the fan on a Monday. We missed the Sunday show the other day, and of course, some of the other shows too as well with the work schedule and everything I got going on. So I think a pop-up show is needed. I know Country does the emergency coaches meeting. This is like the super emergency coaches meeting. This is like we need help, T. Will. This is like wave the white flag here. But at the end of the day, we're at a point where this team needs some assistance, and the fan feedback that they're getting on social media isn't good. And there are people, and this is the one thing that I hate to say it to you, people are now at the point where they're arguing with each other. They're ready to go blow for blow. They're ready to stand up. Hey, man, where you at? Babe, pull up to the Addy then if you want to fight over Raheem Morris. They're ready to go at it.
It's worse than that, Jack.
Oh, man. Please don't tell me
it's worse than that. So I did a show maybe Wednesday, Thursday. And, it was after the whole boycott the Falcons thing because I wanted to give it a couple of days to just, what's the word? Ferment or mature or basically season itself, right? Like, we were on the show Sunday and the whole boycott the fans or whatever, wherever you are, wherever you stand with that, that's fine. You fan how you fan. But in this show, and good morning, Maggie T. Good morning, Miss Christie. Good morning, Auntie Pam Jack. I will be doing a show later on tonight with the ladies of AFN, interviewing them. So just want to drop that. But anyway, to get back to it, during our show, was it last Sunday? I think may have been last Sunday. The somebody engaged Carrie and said, "Why are you watching these games? You need to boycott the Falcons. You're not a real fan." And the whole thing was, "Don't tell me how to fan, right?" I mean, look, if you don't want to go to the game, that's your choice. Right. And I will never tell anyone to not do that. But my thing was, number one, keep that to yourself. Don't make it a movement. Don't make it a whole thing, because let me ask you this, Jack. Have you ever been to Alabama?
Only when I'm stopping for gas. Otherwise than that, we just keep it moving.
Have you ever been to a professional basketball game in Alabama?
Absolutely not. Just get gas and keep it moving.
No, you haven't. How about a professional football game in Alabama?
Absolutely not. We just get gas and keep it moving.
Okay. One last question. How about a professional baseball game in Alabama? I'm going.
Most of the time, we stop at the QT and we get gas and we keep it moving.
The point is, they don't have teams. They don't have professional teams. They are a college town. So the thought process was, and I'm doing the show, and Falcon Fandemic, wherever you are, shout out to you, brother. He says, there has been talk of the Falcons moving. Now, I don't know how realistic that is, okay? But he said you might want to stop with all the, protest, or not protest, but whatever the word is. You might want to stop with that, because it could work too well, right? And I said, you know what? You're right, Fandemic. I'm so glad you brought this up, right? Because for all of you guys who are out there who boycott the team, you get enough organized boycotts, right? What if it works too well? What if it works so well that the Falcons decided, you know what? I don't know. We're gonna move to Alabama. We're gonna move to North Idaho. We're gonna move here or there, right? What would you do? What would you do, Jack, if you woke up tomorrow and the Falcons left town, like, because it has been done before,
right?
Cleveland Browns,
San Diego Chargers.
Yeah, but no, you're right. But the Cleveland Browns left for a couple of years, right? And there was this big void. And look, I'm not saying to not go. I can't tell anybody how to fan. I can't tell you don't want to watch the game, don't watch the game. You don't want to spend your money, don't spend your money. But when you talk about an organized boycott, right? And not that this would happen, but what if it did, Jack? What would you do tomorrow if you woke up and you saw, boom, ESPN, Falcons are moving to North Dakota?
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I probably stop watching football, bro. I probably just end up I can't rock with no North Dakota Falcons. That just ain't me.
Right. But what would you do? So all of you who complain and again, look, Raheem Morris needs to go. I think that's a given. That coaching staff, with the exception of Ulbrich and the defensive line coach, and maybe maybe one other person, they all can go.
Jerry Gray. There's a few guys that you can keep on the staff that we don't have too many problems with, but it starts
right
with Raheem Morris. And people might say, no, Jack, it starts with Rich McKay. And it's like, hold on, guys. Like, we're going to go with Arthur Blank. Not Arthur Blank. We're going to go with Raheem Morris first. That seems like to be the plan right there. Because Rich McKay ain't going nowhere. I'm telling you right now. He ain't going nowhere. But continue, Tebow.
That's okay. But my point is, Jack, I got 4 or 5 people who were like, yeah, if the Falcons leave, that's fine, which is just silly. Which is just silly. But I'm saying you have people. So losing breeds a certain mentality, right? When people get upset, they say things
right
that most don't mean.
Which at social media, you know what's going on now. They're looking for the likes, the views, the reposts, the retweets. And then once they start getting a little following, maybe if I tweet this 2
Right.
times
Let
a
me
day,
just tweet
people will
this.
really
Oh,
start following me. Yeah.
right. Because again, nobody wants to go back. Nobody wants the Falcons to leave. And what are you going to do? You gonna cheer for the Saints?
That damn show ain't happening.
You gonna cheer for the Panthers? You
That
gonna
damn
cheer
show
for
ain't happening.
What would you do if you woke up tomorrow and that happened? And then what if that happens and they bring in an expansion team and you lose for 10 years? Right?
I know some Charger fans. I used to live in San Diego. I know some Charger fans that once they moved to LA, they were like, I'm done with this shit. But then slowly but surely, they got back into football. Yeah. But it was a tough time for them to drive down to Qualcomm Stadium in that parking lot and to dump all their stuff out from all the years, the powder blue LT jerseys, the Gates jerseys, all that stuff. And it doesn't even feel the same when you drive up for San Diego to LA and say you was a San Diego Charger fan. Them LA Charger fans like, what? Same thing for St. Louis when the Rams left and they went to LA. St. Louis, they're still fighting to get an NFL team back.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. And this happened in Cleveland. So look, I'm not saying to not be disappointed in the team, and I'm not telling you how to feel. We're all disappointed in the Falcons. But what I'm saying is twofold. Number one, let's not turn on each other, guys. You know what I mean?
That happens because everybody wants to be right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And it's in a situation where T-Will, me and you can debate if Raheem should get fired or Raheem stays. But I'm not getting ready to pull up on T-Will's house in that cul-de-sac at that beautiful house you got and start knocking on the door or go to your back door, looking through your windows. Where you at? Where T-Will from For My ATL Sports at? It doesn't get to that. But when you have people that hide behind avatars, when you got what they call them? Keyboard warriors.
Keyboard gangsters.
The keyboard gangsters. Like what gangsters. The Twitter gangsters, the social media, the Facebook gangsters, they're ready to do what? They're ready to fight for that post they just made because it got 3 likes and your post got 22 likes, right? So it's kind of like people are upset. We get it.
Right. And
they understand.
And they should be upset.
Right. But it doesn't cause for fisticuffs. It doesn't cause for fisticuffs.
Well, not only that, but be rational, right? The one benefit to being a Falcons fan for darn near 50 years is you see things come and go, right? The one benefit to being a football fan in general is you see ebbs and flows. You see rises and falls, right? The 49ers were it in the 80s. They've not won a Super Bowl since 1994. They've been back, but they've not won a Super Bowl since 94. The Steelers were it in the 70s. They've not won a Super Bowl since 2008. The Cowboys were it in the 90s. Things go in stages.
There's a bunch of teams right now that haven't won a Super Bowl that's going to make it to the playoffs and still not get a chance to win the Super Bowl.
Correct. So organizations rise and fall.
Sure do.
Right? From 2008 until about 2012, the Falcons made a bunch of playoff appearances. They were pretty good. They were really good. They went to the Super Bowl in 2016. You can't, to me, in my humble opinion, the only bad coaching hire right now, with the Falcons, with this iteration of the Falcons. Because understand, the Falcons have been owned by 3 owners, right? There was Rankin Smith, who was 129 and 218. In 24 years, he was 129 wins and 218 losses. That's a lot of losses. That is a lot. From 1966 until 1990, that's a lot of losses. Then there was his son, Taylor Smith, who was, I believe, 86 and 113 or something like that. Better than his father, but still bad. Arthur Blank is, as of yesterday, is 189 and 190. So essentially 500. Under Arthur Blank's tutelage, the Falcons had their first consecutive winning seasons. We had never won two. We never had 2 winning seasons. We never had 2 winning seasons in a row until Arthur Blank, right? You can't really call Arthur Smith a bad hire because what team did he have? What weapons did he have? Matt Ryan was getting old. Julio was gone or out the door.
Right.
He really didn't have a team.
The contract, remember the salary cap was pretty bad too as well. We tried to fix that. A bunch of 1-year deal guys coming in the building.
Thank you. Thank you. In my opinion,
shout out Iron Mike in the chat.
Yep. Shout out Iron Mike. What's up? Yuri, what's up? The only bad hire, in my opinion, is Raheem Morris. So it's not even though it's bad, and it is bad now, and it is embarrassing. When you look at the landscape, right? When you look at the total picture of Arthur Blank's Falcons, we're basically 500, which is better than the previous two owners, right? That's number one. So if we're 500, right, that tells me we can get out of this. That tells me we can make good decisions on good hires. That tells me we can move forward. Why, Jack? Because we've done it before.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think, and this is the one problem I have with social media. Everybody who's talking about the Falcons or complaining about the Falcons, number one, doesn't really care about the Falcons. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I love my Falcons. I bleed red and black. I care about my Falcons.
I love the Atlanta Falcons.
I love the Atlanta Falcons. So I'm not just going to make some haphazard, just whatever, just get rid of Bijan Robinson. What are you doing? When you care about a franchise, when you care about a thing, you're going to treat it carefully, right? I hear people, just blow it up. Why would you get rid of Bijan Robinson? Why would you get rid of Drake London? For what? That's going to take you 4 or 5 years to rebuild this thing. Why do that? It is not that bad. We need we need a coach who's had some success, who has a plan. We need an offensive coordinator who can nurture a quarterback. We need a quarterbacks coach with some experience, who's experienced some success, who can nurture Penix and Kirk and get this thing going. Defense was on the field all day yesterday.
Right. And it kind of felt like how Alabama was too as well Saturday. Like they was out there looking at time of possession with Georgia. Like, Jesus, boy, Georgia is tacking on the yards. At one point, it was like 280-some yards. Alabama's 40-something yards. And then they had -3 rushing yards. And I was sitting there thinking, and T-Well, we ain't jumping off of NFL to go to college football. I was sitting there thinking on that Saturday game, Alabama must know they're going to get a bowl game playing like this, because I'm not a Bama fan, but I've never seen Alabama get beat like that against a rival that they know pretty well. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, something's fishy about this game. Because Georgia did come out there and whoop that ass. Big shout out to the Dogs.
Go Dogs.
But I was sitting there like, I have a funny feeling after this game that Alabama's still going to get a bowl game. When there's teams on the outside looking in who deserve to be in that spot fighting for a bowl game. And sure enough, yesterday, what did they do?
Yeah, they got a bowl game?
They got a bowl game against Oklahoma. And it's like, well, look at the committee getting those ratings and that money up. They already knew what it was when they had Bama still in there. But even going back to Raheem, you mentioned something funny, T-Will, that I was getting ready to talk about. Raheem in the coaching tree.
Mm-hmm.
He's mentioned this for a while now about Shanahan. Remember that when he first got here? Shanahan and McVay, the coaching rooms that he's been in, some of the coaches that he's been around too as well. And it's like he tried to build his own coaching tree here in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
You had Jimmy Lake coming in here, first year, defensive coordinator, which fans was already skeptic about. Fans were already like, why did you go get this guy? Well, don't forget, that's the buddy system. Buddy. Remember Heavyweights, the movie when it was in the remember that movie on remember that movie growing up too?
Yeah.
With Ben Stiller? And it's like, why did you go get Jimmy Lake?
Mm-hmm.
Which the defense definitely fell under the last name of who Jimmy is, the Lake. They went straight to the depths of Lake Lanier. That shit was horrible last year. Then you go get your boy, Zach Robinson, from the Rams, which fans are also looking at like, why the hell did you go get Zach Robinson? Buddy. Remember the buddy system? Remember that movie I'll tell you about too with Ben Stiller?
I think it's deeper than that, man. I think
He tried to build his own coaching tree. He thought he can get this McVay thing going. He thought he can do the Shanahan type of way, and of course, get these 1-year deal guys, 1 year, defensive coordinator, 1 year, first year offensive coordinator on the field, and say, "Hey, look, we're going to build something fabulous in Atlanta. We're going to get these guys going." The Jimmy Lake project failed. He was gone. Hell, by the middle of the season, we knew Jimmy Lake was going to be gone, and we wanted him up out of here. Obviously, somebody was listening to social media because they didn't keep him for the next season. And then what did he go? What does he go do next year? He brings in his buddy Jeff Ulbrich. Buddy. Remember the buddy system? Remember the movie I'll tell you about too. And then what does he do in second year? Zach Robinson is back too as well. Zach Robinson, as fans have said it before, get this guy out of here. First year we talked about it too, but this year with Zach Robinson, get this guy out of here. Now fans are looking at it thinking, is Zach going to be back with him next year? Because at first it was the DC problem.
He's going to be back next year.
Man, we was just talking about the head coaching stuff right there, and it's like,
here's where we are, Jack. You have taken a team that arguably should have won 10 games, and they are going in the wrong direction. And it's basically because of your choices and your selections and the decisions that you made. You have taken my daddy used to tell me, son, some people can take a Mercedes, top of the line Mercedes, and make it look like a Yugo. A Yugo, for those of you who don't know, was a car in the 80s. It was a very economically feasible car. I won't call it cheap. It was very.
Did you have a Yugo, Tua?
I did not, sir. I did not. But his point was some people can make them. Some people can take a Yugo and make it look like a Mercedes. And some people can take a Mercedes and make it look like a Yugo. And that is what Raheem Morris has done to this team.
Right.
This team should at least have 10 wins.
Right.
And based on the decisions, the hiring decisions, based on the decisions that he has made personally, and not only game situations.
And the lies.
Just the culture, the environment. Those guys, I would say second half, right? I kind of felt like the offense quit. I kind of felt like once it got to a certain point. Now, I don't think the defense quit. You can't have a defense out there for 35, 40 minutes. You just, unless you're the 2000 Ravens, you're going to break, right?
I feel like after the Bijan fumble and then the touchdown right after, it was like, no, this is it. All right, let's just go ahead and
they quit.
Let's just pack this up.
But every coach on your staff, with the exception of Ulbrich, the defensive line coach, Jerry Gray, a few, special teams coordinator got to go. Raheem got to go. Zach Robinson got to go. Bad decisions. Bad choice. We can't correct the special teams. You made a statement, you being Raheem, whether it was last game or the game before, that you don't even kick it to the receiver, the kickoff return specialist. You just put him on the 35. Because you don't trust your special teams unit. And what happened? We go into halftime, tied 6-6, come out, and the first thing you do is a kick return. And it just, I'm going to be honest with you, I knew at that point the game was over.
Right. It was kind of like Saturday with the Georgia game. Once they blocked that punt, I said, oh, this game's over.
That was it. That was it. We scored a total of 9 points yesterday.
Right.
9 points yesterday. So, my point is,
shout out Black Jedi in the chat. Black Jedi.
What up, Black Jedi? Arthur Smith did more with less. And Raheem Morris has done less with more. He has completely mismanaged this team, and he has set us back by maybe 3 years. Because here's the thing. Tyler Allgeier's not coming back next year. I can't see him coming back next year. He's gonna get starter money and an opportunity to start somewhere else. And why would he? Number one, they haven't used him enough anyway, right? And number two, look at where we are. So he's not coming back. I don't think Kyle Pitts is going to be here. And you know, at this point, hey, it is what it is. But you're not going to have the offensive weapons next year that you do this year.
Right.
Right? You again, bottom line is Raheem's got to go. Because Raheem himself has set this franchise back. And this thing is all ego. Look it. I want to work with the best people. I don't have to like you to work with you, but I want to work with the best. I don't have to work with all my buddies.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Jack, too much friendships going on when you got a losing organization. It's time. And I think that's the thing that they're scared about too, not to cut you off too. I think that's the one thing that they're scared about is bringing the guys who can hold the organization accountable. I think when people go back and look at that Ray post the other day with Chris Paul, some would say he was let go because he tried to have a meeting with Raheem or he was trying to hold some people accountable and stuff. And that's what happened with Chris Paul in LA. He was holding players accountable for their lack of defense and, you know, going out there, they're what, I think there was 3-12 or 4-13 at the time or something like that. And he was like, y'all got to step it up and play better. Mm-hmm. Could have been something in that situation where Ray was reaching out to say, hey, why do we let go of Ike Hilliard? What is going on here? We're losing the wide receiver locker room in practice. And the thing about it is with the Falcons, it's the same thing years ago about don't step on the logo. Remember, the Falcons was a real quiet organization when it came to what's going on in the locker room. Mm-hmm. You didn't hear about people speaking out, people saying anything about the team or anything bad about the coaching staff. And this year was kind of like, it's like that balloon you keep filling up with water. Eventually, you know, it's just gonna pop.
Yeah.
Like something is going on in that locker room or even outside of it to where it's like,
they don't believe in them.
Something is happening. The coup situation, lying about that, bringing in all these kickers.
Kirk Cousins situation,
lying about the injury last year, lying about that, keeping that under wraps.
The Mooney
situation too as well, lying about that, keeping that under wraps. Was Michael Penix fully 100% too as well? We don't even know when he was drafted about that, lying about that too as well. Mm-hmm. Even in the San Francisco game, we saw it. Fans go back and look in the second half. Michael Penix was hit. He was injured.
I think he was injured before that, Jack.
They showed a zoom. They zoomed in on his hand. He was doing something with his hand. You could see like a little scar. But then I think somebody made an announcement. I think there was the announcer or somebody, a fan or Twitter. And I remember even looking saying, Penix is hurt.
I think Penix was hurt this entire year, Jack.
Right.
We're running more plays under center than we have in 2 years under Kirk right now.
As soon as Kirk got in the game for the Saints that week, what happened? Under center damn near 50-60% of the time.
Kirk is 38 years old.
Right.
And Kirk can bend his knee. Nah, bro. I'm not buying that bill of goods.
They changed up the play calling as soon as Kirk got in there. Not saying that we got better anyway, because we're 1-3 with Kirk right now, or 1-2 with Kirk right now.
I think Penix was hurt.
Right.
I think Penix was hurt.
A lot of things being hid from us. The Ike Hilliard situation, too, as well, during the middle of the season. Zach Robinson in the booth now needs to come down to the field. Hell, send his ass right back up to the booth at this point. Ray situation, the healthy scratches from players that's like, where's Hodge? And I'm not saying like Hodge is like the biggest player on the team, but for a special teams guy, you need a guy like that out there. Yeah. Especially during the Jets game last week. I would have loved to have Hodge out there. Hell, he could have helped us in some situations.
Yeah, I think the locker room is turned on. Look, if Raheem were in battle, if Raheem was a colonel, a lieutenant, and he was in battle, he'd be dead. Because let me tell you what happens in the field. If you are a military officer and you are in behind enemy lines somewhere, and you have a team of Marines, a team of Army, whatever your team is, if you continuously make bad decisions, you're not going to get fired. You're going to get a bullet to the back of your head. because your lives, you have people's lives in your hands, and if you continue to make bad decisions, you're just not going to go. They'll call it an exercise, a friendly fire, whatever, but you're not. Bottom line, you're not going to make it home. You cannot make bad decisions in the field, and Raheem has continuously made bad decisions. And at this point, it's clear Raheem is a really, really, really good defensive coordinator, but he's not a head coach.
Well, he has to find a way to get a win this week. That's what I
Did you just say find a way?
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Falcon fan, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Atlanta Falcons Fandemics in the chat. Christy Lewis, Lisa Shepard. So many fans here talking Falcons football with us. Pop-up podcast, breakfast with One Time for the Fan, normally on Fridays. We're not changing our days of the week or any times. This was just a much-needed podcast because we missed y'all. Talking to y'all for a minute. T-Will, I know you had a lot going on this weekend too as well. So when I did the pop-up podcast, I was just reaching out to speak with the fan base. Sure enough, T-Will woke up and said, hey, Jack, let me get in here and talk some Falcons football with you too as well. Shout out to you, T-Will. I know, like I said, I know you're dealing with a lot, man. Prayers up to you and the fam. But even with yesterday with the Falcons, like, I saw you talking in the chat amongst, all the other Falcon fans that were with us, and I'm like, T-Will knows the same thing I know. This is not a good team at the moment. This is a team that's going through some struggles, the challenges, the problems that they're dealing with. And for us Falcon fans, at the end of the day, we're going to sit there and watch teams battle in the playoffs, and we're going to sit there and say, damn, I wish the Falcons were here. Damn, it's going to be a long off season. Damn, I can't wait till that Black Monday after the Super Bowl when we get to find out if they're going to fire Raheem or not. And it might be can't fast forward time. It looks like it might be a clean house situation in the offseason. So for fans that's like, why didn't they fire Coach Williams? Why didn't they fire Zach Robinson? Why didn't they fire the quarterback's coach? Why didn't they fire Raheem? This looked like it could be a full clean house after the Super Bowl. Or, which fans probably won't appreciate, we get news that Raheem and the crew will be staying for next year, which I do think it's not going to happen. I think they're going to get ready and probably make some coaching changes. But at the end of the day, when we talked about the head coach situation, who could be the candidate for the head coach? Our position of finding a head coach went out the window last year when we had Mike McDaniels. No, we had, who is that? The guy from the Ravens, defensive coordinator, the Seattle head coach. Is that Mike McDaniel? What's his name? Mike Daniel? What's the guy's name? The Seattle head coach.
Mike McDonald.
Mike McDonald.
Yeah.
Jim Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a couple other big names too as well that we could have had here in Atlanta. But we went with buddy system. Buddy. We went to the buddy system. And Arthur brought in a guy that he knew from 2017. He figured, hey, man, Raheem went to L.A. and got a ring. Maybe he can bring some of that Sean McVay system over here and help us out. Maybe he can go here and do what he can to help this team get better, because he was just over there with Aaron Donald. He was over there with Matthew Stafford. And, of course, the whole Kirk Cousins thing. Brought in a veteran quarterback to try to make Zach Robinson's first year as an OC look good. Because you had who'd you have in L.A.? Matthew Stafford. You never heard of Zach Robinson working with young quarterbacks. You heard about show me a story where Zach Robinson coached up a rookie quarterback and brought him to the level of where Matthew Stafford and some of these other guys are. He was an assistant.
I wonder what the process was. I know that with Mike Smith and Dan Quinn, we used an outside agency. Did we do that with Raheem Morris? Like, what was the
Bro, let me tell you something. Their process, the way I'm thinking about this organization, not to be rude or disrespectful, you sit down in the interview. Hey, what's up, T? Well, how you doing, man? Everything all right? Doing good. How was everything in LA? Good. How was the flight? That's good. All right, cool. Here, you want to be the next head coach of the Atlanta Falcons? Tell me what you'll do. Okay, that's cool. All right, cool. We'll give you a call back tomorrow. Have a good one, Raheem. That was the process during the interview.
So
no hard-nosed questions, no rebuilding this and that. It's buddy. Everybody in that room that interviewed Raheem was there in 2017.
Did they have an outside source to come in and interview as well? Did they have somebody to go through and do a filtering process?
I was talking with some fans on the train yesterday. I wish this organization would reach out to the fans on some stuff and just find out.
I don't. With social media, I don't think they have to reach out.
Right.
It's there.
It's clear. But there are some people in the fan base that I think they can look and say, "Hey, look." Not to say we're going to take this guy's word for it, but like Mike Bell has said some things that I think, not saying that the Falcons will go listen, go listen to Mike Bell 24/7, but Mike Bell has said some things that I think the Falcons can look at and say, "Oh wow, let's get his perspective of what we can do." D. Orlando has said some things too as well. I know some people not too happy about D. Orlando when he says some of this stuff covering the Falcons, but he also spends time covering the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
He's been here a very long time. He has 8 losing seasons just like us. D. Orlando's not walking around with a Saints jersey on covering the Falcons. He's here covering the Falcons.
Right.
There are former players I think they should go reach out to. First of all, you can get Matt Ryan on the phone right now and find out what there needs to be done with the Atlanta Falcons. And we also got somebody else who can help out with what the Atlanta Falcons need to be doing in the offseason and in the future. And his name is Big Low Country Sports.
Big Low.
Big Low, are you in the garage? Turn it down a bit. You there? Big Low.
I think he killed that.
I hear a little echo. He was in the garage taking care of some of the bikes. I told him to put the bike racks up.
Stop it.
Got a lot of stuff going on this winter. But yeah, man, a lot of stuff is going on within the fan base, and I think their interview process just didn't work. Let me see if we get Big Low back. Big Low,
and if that's the case, if you're kind of like a vibes.
Big Low, you there?
Big Low, you listening to the radio? You in your car?
Big Low Country.
I think he muted.
Yes, sir.
What's up, Big Low?
What up, Low?
Hey. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Bodie and Jack, they'll be here in just a second with the moving truck. They'll be able to go ahead and get everything out. Oh, no, you're picking that sofa up, Jack. I've seen Jack pick a lot of sofas up by himself in the past. You don't got to worry about that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's funny yeah. Bodie, he can take a. I'm on the show. My bad. What's up, Jack? He'll be here in a second, Coach.
Oh wow!
It's funny because I was hoping you finished putting the bike racks up in the garage, but then I saw your call to earlier. I was like, I didn't order any pizza, but hey, big shout out to Big Low Country Sports here.
Go. We know if anybody bring a pizza. We know if everybody bring a pizza, it's Desmond Ritter, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Oh.
Hey, you'll get the Ritter fans mad at here. They're gonna be like, "How we're 4-9? He do a much better job than Kurt."
Turn it up.
Wow.
Hey, Big Low, man, we was talking real quick about the Atlanta Falcons. We had a conversation this morning talking about the Falcons and what's going on, and Raheem Morris and everything that's happening with this team and what to do in the offseason to get better. And of course, the chat has chimed in, and people are over here talking Falcons football on a respectful level. Nobody's being, too crucial of the team and calling out players or anything. I think the most part everybody wants is Raheem fired. But just T-Will, not T-Will, just Big Low Country, just going off of what you know about this team and what you saw yesterday, and of course, everything that has transpired this season. What are your thoughts real quick about the Atlanta Falcons and what should we do moving forward? And as you're talking, I'm going to go ahead and put some comments in the chat too as well on the screen. So just your thoughts on these Atlanta Falcons, brother.
Well, I just kind of want to chime in what y'all were talking about a few minutes ago. So you were talking about Zach Robinson, and nobody's ever said Zach Robinson's developed a quarterback. And it's obvious that in this situation, what Raheem Morris and what he was expecting was for Zach Robinson to have the quarterbacks develop him. Think about it. Zach Robinson worked with Matthew Stafford in Los Angeles, and the plan was for him to work with Kirk Cousins 2, possibly 3, possibly 4 years until Zach Robinson was developed into, calling plays and being an efficient offensive coordinator. Whenever
Right.
Michael Penix came in this year, everybody's talking about how Zach Robinson was in the lab and everything, and everybody kept mentioning how they're expecting Kirk Cousins to be an integral part in helping develop Zach Robinson just as well as Michael Penix.
Mm-hmm.
But they were hoping for the veteran quarterbacks to save the offensive coordinator and it not be the other way around. And if you have that type of mentality, you're not ready to be a coach in the National Football League.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And they looked at Zach Robinson's resume too as well. I mean, looking at it, same thing for Jimmy Lake. You brought in the guy that fans were like, "Why did you do this?" And then Zach Robinson, first year, fans are like, "This is not looking good." I mean, 6-3 at one point, fans were riding the wave. We were all swag surfing at one point inside the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. But then again, like you said, Country, they tried to put out a plan for Zach to build up his coaching resume using a guy like Kirk Cousins, who even coming off the ACL injury was still on track to throw for 4,000 yards the season before. And they was hoping that, hey, we gave this guy a bunch of money. He's coming over here. We got some weapons. We got Mooney. We got Drake. We got Kyle. We got Bijan. It's going to make Zach Robinson look real good if we can make the playoffs, 2 years, 3 years. And then Zach can go on and become a head coach somewhere in the NFL or do this, that, and the third. But then they lied about all these injuries and all this stuff going on behind the scene. Kirk got benched. Penix comes in, change up the whole playbook, of course, for Michael Penix. And it's like, now where do we go? All right, cool. We get an off season. We're good now. Kirk's not going to be back next year. Penix is going to take over the quarterback ring. He's going to be perfectly fine with Zach. And they start out on a bad foot. And they continue down that bad path with Zach Robinson. And now fans are realizing this is the real Zach Robinson. Maybe if he was back in LA with Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford and that crew, it'd be totally different. But in Atlanta under Raheem, it just didn't work out. So, Country, I got to go to you with this next question. What do we have to do now to get better? What does Bigelow Country Sports need as a fan to walk in that Benz next year and say this team is ready to go compete against the Baltimore Ravens who were playing, the Pittsburgh Steelers who were playing, the Cincinnati Bengals who were playing? Because every team's going to have an offseason. What do the Atlanta Falcons need to do, Bigelow, to have you as a fan feel like I'm ready to go compete in 2026?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, Jack. I need a couple of things. The first thing that I need is experience, right? I need, and the perfect scenario would be a coach that had previous coaching experience, previous head coaching experience. But if it's a situation where you're a coach that's had previous experience, particularly on the offensive side of the ball in developing young quarterbacks and having efficient offenses and having offenses that can convert on third down, I would take that.
Mm-hmm.
But I would think, and I apologize if I'm beating a dead horse, but I would think that the most important thing that I need would be someone who just a man of integrity. I just need somebody to tell me the truth. I need someone who doesn't get full of themselves. I need someone who, if it's a situation where, hey, everybody sees the elephant in the room, you get mad at us for saying that there's an elephant in the room.
That's
I just
right.
need a guy. Yeah, I just need a man of integrity to just tell the truth.
Right. And you're talking about experience. The most experienced coach you have right there in that room seems to be Jerry Gray, Jeff Ulbrich. From the two that if you look at their resume, I mean, Nate Ali came from the Texans, but I'm sure he wouldn't be brought up as being a coordinator or a head coach or anything. Might be a defensive coordinator in the future. But if they're looking for a head coach, not throwing Jerry Gray's name into the mix because he wasn't interviewed when we last needed a head coach. Jeff Ulbrich's name, I think, would be in the mix. But does Jeff Ulbrich want to be a head coach again? Remember, I mentioned it. There are good head coaches. I mean, there are good coordinators who are not good head coaches. And there are head coaches that were, decent coordinators. Raheem Morris, I think, going back to the coordinator position, he can find his way, because that's how it is in the NFL. As soon as you leave as a head coach, you go back and become a coordinator. Brian DeBull shouldn't be looking for another head coaching job right now. He should try to find his way as a coordinator on some team and start building up the resume again. So about maybe 2028, 2029, he goes out there and tries to get another head coaching job. But if the Falcon fans start looking for head coaches and they start saying, oh, Brian DeBull would be a good fit, where do you see Brian DeBull as a good fit? Here in Atlanta. My guy I'm looking at right now would probably be the Mike McCarthy situation. But like I said, and fans in the chat were talking about it too, does Mike McCarthy want to come out the back room to go become a head coach right now? Because he's sitting back chilling. Hell, tell you the honest truth, I haven't heard nothing about Mike McCarthy this whole offseason. Usually you hear some coaches saying they want to get back into the swing of things and they want to go look for a team and all this type of stuff. But Mike McCarthy's quiet. He's probably sitting in a cabin in the woods somewhere watching NFL football saying, damn, that's pretty tough to watch. But hopefully, Mike McCarthy, if you're watching this Thursday, because there's only one NFL game on this Thursday, it's the Buccaneers and the Atlanta Falcons. Maybe Mike McCarthy says, you know what? I got some plays I could run with Bijan Robinson. I got some plays I can give Drake London. I got some things I could do with a guy like I was going to say Darnell Mooney, but he might not even be here. But just this whole team. So maybe Mike McCarthy could be a good fit. We'll probably get to that closer to the end of the season. Start throwing out head coaching names and guys who could be available. But then again, Black Monday and the Falcons end up keeping Raheem Morris. There's a little bit of it. Country, he gets left. Yeah. Big shout to Bigelow Country Sports for even checking in, taking the time out of his day. We're already like an hour and a half and some change talking about the Atlanta Falcons right now, and of course the fans in the stands here in the chat are talking football with us. So big shout out to every fan who's turned up here to talk some Falcons football, and we just want to say thank you for taking the time out of your day to join us this morning on One Time for the Fan. Breakfast with One Time for the Fan, soon to be lunch with One Time for the Fan. And that's starting to get me hungry because I ain't eating nothing all day. I'm over here doing breakfast with One Time for the Fan. I didn't even eat breakfast. So I need to go ahead and get my shit together. But yeah, man, big shout out to everybody here who's talking Falcons football. William Amy said this is all Arthur Blank's fault. He's going straight to the top of the pyramid. He's going straight to Arthur Blank. Keep hiring buddy seasons. Buddy. So shout out to William Amy. Dre Harrison's in the chat. He said Wink Martindale could be a guy to look at too as well. Did we interview Wink Martindale? Was he a part of that last coaching search?
I want to say we did. Yeah, I want to say we did.
Okay. Wink Martindale. And then William Amy says the About Fire, Rich McKay, Terry Raheem, and Jeff Ulbrich, Zach, and Marquise. William, a totally new coaching staff in here. He wants everybody gone. So William Amy wants Arthur Blank fired. He wants Rich McKay fired. He wants Terry Fontenot fired. He wants Raheem Morris. Who the hell is going to run the damn organization? William Amy. William Amy. What are they going to do? The NFL going to take over at that point. Roger Goodell going to have to step in at that point.
William Amy said as long as DeMarco Hitman Helms is still here, he doesn't care who else leaves. That's what the man said.
Everybody fired, but DeMarco Hitman Helms has to be. Wow. I'll tell you that right now. And big shout to Carrie in the chat. We got Miss Carrie.
Miss Carrie, baby.
I am once again asking croissant Carrie. I am once again asking what Raheem does well as a head coach. If we bring him back a third year, we are not serious about winning. I'm sorry. He's 33-56 as an NFL head coach. The Falcons are 6-15 since 6-3 last year. That is.
I don't think you can bring him back. I mean, again.
Well, you can bring him back because of the buddy system. Buddy.
I don't think you can, because social media is almost like the Roman Colosseum. It's like it's a powder keg, and we don't live in a world. 2025 is not the world that it was in 2008. I'm sorry, it's just not. Well, the world is a fishbowl. There's no way, unless you're just blind and tune deaf and singing in the wrong key, Nobody came to see you, Otis. You can't.
Hey, T. Will, don't talk about Uncle Steve like that.
Oh wow! Uncle
Shish.
Steve, that was not me. I love you, Uncle Steve.
Lord of mercy.
That was not me. That
I gotta ask this question though, T. Will, not T. Will, Bigelow Country. And we were talking yesterday when we walked into the stadium when I saw you over there by Molly B's. And I walked away and I was about to go meet up with the homies. Bigelow, let me know if I'm wrong here. When they mentioned Raheem, they was bringing the players out of the tunnel. And they said Atlanta Falcons head coach Raheem Morris. Was that a bunch of boos I heard? Or was that just the audio mixing in with the noise and of course, the fan interaction that has in the stadium?
There ain't no boos and bring them out by T.I.
Oh my God.
There ain't no boos.
I swear I heard boos.
Yes,
coming
you heard
from the
boos,
crowd
bro.
when they said Atlanta Falcons head coach Raheem Morris.
You heard boos. And you talk about this fan base all the time, Jack. You talk about it. There's no fan base pettier than the Atlanta Falcons fan base, bro.
Hey, we might lose the battle on the field, but we're going to win that petty battle on social media. I guarantee you that. We're going to win the petty battle in the stands. I tell you yesterday, at one point, all I can do is turn around and just roast Seahawks fans. The game was over. It was like, well, don't think Sam Darnold was taking y'all to the Super Bowl. Don't think for 1 second. Y'all got Russell Wilson. Y'all got Richard Sherman. Y'all got Marshawn Lynch. Is Pete Carroll your head coach? And they were looking at me like, dude, we're going to the playoffs. And it's like, God damn it, let's fight about it. You know what I'm saying? At this point, it's like
it's the same thing with me. I was like, shoot. That's why it rained in Washington all the time. Y'all don't never see no sunshine. I'm like, okay, or not.
Oh wow.
Oh man. We got Eric Z said, have we fired Raheem yet? Let me check. Nope. Looks like Raheem is chilling at the office. I'm checking the Flowery Branch cameras right now. Him, Rich McKay, Terry, Arthur Blank. They are chilling right now. They're eating lunch. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Carrie says Jack is supposed to be moving Raheem, Zach Robinson, and Marquise Williams stuff out of Flowery Branch right now. Carrie, you said Jack is me? I'm supposed to be moving their stuff out of what? Carrie, I ain't got no moving truck. Sheesh. Carrie over here cracking jokes on me. Country, I know it sounds like you're in the vehicle right now. Are you on the way to Flowery Branch with the moving truck? Do you have gloves and a hand truck too? A hand cart? Bigelow? Oh, the reception does get bad. The reception does get bad when you're getting closer to Flowery Branch. Are you in the moving truck right now, heading up there to Flowery Branch?
Yeah. So I'm in a moving truck. I got my back brace on and everything. Like I said yesterday, I'm not picking up nothing too heavy. Because I know that's you and Bodie. That's. I mean, it's still called Bojacks, right? Bojacks Moving and Utility. Is that still the name of it?
It said Bojack. Oh wow.
Still called Bo.
Oh, wow.
I mean, because we want to give the plug to everybody who might need some help. Anyway, yeah. So I'm on the way. I drove the truck over here, helping y'all out. So yeah, we almost here. I'm going up 985 right now.
Hey, well, we're gonna start over here by Raheem's side, so you can back in over there next to the gray Mazda. We'll go ahead and start offloading that one right there too as well.
Gray Mazda. Wow.
Yeah, I think you guys are Mazda. Iron Mike's in the chat. He said I help him move out the city for free. Sheesh, that's tough. Carrie says, hey, ho ho. Raheem has got to go. It's going down in a major way. Look, we got a celebrity in the chat. His name is Uncle Steve. He said, that's messed up, Jack. Y'all were having a perfect show. Then just like Coach Ra, Mr. Distortion comes on and messes up your show. Contact creator Uncle Steve's in the chat, man. Podcast on Uncle Steve. Make sure y'all head over to Uncle Steve Lounge, man. Check him out. He's always talking Falcons football. I can't wait to see what Steve and the crew has to say. Like even just other podcasters, Country, you yourself, Birdo and everybody, because we're 4-9. Team is not looking good. It's getting uglier by the minute. And just even trying to find any bit of positivity, any 2, 3, 4, 5 cents of positivity, you're not getting too much of it. Now, of course, here on One Time for the Fan, we don't bash and do anything about that. We might crack a couple jokes here and there, but all we want to do is just see the team get better. But how are some of y'all fans dealing with this right now? Because it's just tough, man. 8 seasons of a drought. T. Will showing up to the podcast late, It's like so much going on. Like, what are we?
Wow. Okay. It's
Hold
like,
on. Hold on.
okay. All right. Okay.
Dirty Bird
Bang,
is
bang,
in the
T.
chat.
Will.
He said, if that was the plan, then they are even more dumbfounded than everyone thought, man. It's even tough when you know that. It's even tough when you can kind of see the script that the Falcons tried to go with, right? Like Kansas City Chiefs fans were stunned this year that they didn't make the playoffs. Oh, my God, we got Pat Mahomes. We didn't make the playoffs this year. Versus Falcon fans is like, man, we got Raheem Morris and Zach Robinson, bro. This is not looking too good. But fans in the chat, the audacity of Raheem to come in here with 2 rookie coordinators, like he was a big time winning head coach at any point in his career. It was obvious this would fail from the jump. I was not too happy about bringing in Jimmy Lake last year. I always wondered about why would they go get this guy? And of course, Zach Robinson too. He tried to build his own coaching tree. He wanted to be the guy who had that Shanahan type of look, who had that I can go, like Country said, I can have Zach Robinson and Kirk Cousins, and he can help build this 3-4 year deal. And of course, with Jimmy Lake and having guys like Jesse Bates and AJ Terrell, and some of these guys, it's like, oh, we'll make Jimmy Lake look good too as well. But then you had to go actually play the games on the field, and it just didn't work out. And they would actually go the next morning into the office with Raheem and sit down and go over the game plan like this shit was working. And it clearly wasn't. Christy Lewis, find a way and get better. Our Falcons fans triggered words this year. That is tough. That is tough. Ricky Reese says, I do not trust Raheem or anything he says or does. T-Will, I think we're getting ready to wrap up the show here. I think from just looking at the chat, fans are not too happy about Raheem Morris. Am I right?
And nor should they be. And I mean, look at you took this team should be 10-7 worst case scenario. This is a 10 win football team, and you took them, and we will finish under 500, and we may finish dramatically under 500. Right? And look, I love Raheem, but Raheem has got to go. Right? You know, just bottom line, he's got to go. He's a good defensive coordinator. He's not a leader, and that's okay.
Is he really though?
I'm not going to debate that with you, Big Low. I love you, Big Low. I'm not going to debate that. I'm not. Look,
Okay.
You would know more so than I would. Okay, you've coached this, so I mean, would you say he's an average defensive coordinator?
I mean, at best.
Okay, well, you know, I guess he's an average defensive coordinator who has 2 Super Bowls, been in the right place at the right time. I don't know. Maybe got a lot of connections. But the bottom line is he is not a head coach. There's a saying that one of my bosses used to say, and that is if you're in a meeting, right, with your team at work, and your boss is talking, people will listen. Okay. But if a fire breaks up, no, I'm sorry. If the manager is talking, people will listen to the manager if you're in a meeting at work. But if a fire breaks out, right, and it's life or death, people are going to listen to whoever the real leader is. And sometimes that's the manager, sometimes it's not. To me, Raheem is not capable of leading a franchise. I love him to death. I really do.
He's a good guy off the field. I ain't gonna lie, but as a coach,
capable of leading a franchise, and it's unfortunate, but it is what it is, man.
Some fans gave up during that Panther game when we was down 30-0, and at the end of the game, he goes over there and he's smiling and laughing with other players, and it's like, bro, we just got blown out 30-0. Like, who's happy about that?
I don't care that you're smiling and laughing. I care about the end results. You know, there have been guys who smiled and laughed, and you can still win. There have been guys who can smile and laugh, and you can still get it done. The bottom line is, to me, and this is just my opinion, Raheem is not concerned about winning. He's concerned about winning his way.
Exactly.
He's concerned about winning, but him being exalted. Right? He's concerned about winning and it looking a certain kind of way, right? What's his name say in White Men Can't Jump? Some folks would rather lose pretty than win ugly. I just want to win. I don't care if it's 10-9, 37-9, 12-2. I just want to win. At the end of the day, I'm about winning. And Raheem seems to be about winning, but winning his way. And it's going to get him out of here. There's no way you can bring him back here. And yeah, those are just my thoughts.
So from the fan base, we're getting ready to wrap it up here. So from the fan base to the people in the chat too as well, to even what we've been saying on the podcast, to listen to other podcasts and what people across the NFL might be, heating up. Raheem is on the hot seat, and we can't go into next year with him. If we do go into next year with him, there's going to be a lot of empty seats in the stands, a lot of people giving up their season tickets, a lot of people not believing in this team. Is that what I'm getting here, T. Will?
Yeah, and I think you won't sell out. I think here's the thing: the time to I shouldn't say this, but if you were going to boycott, the time to boycott is not now. It's at the beginning of the season before you renew your PSLs and all that other stuff.
The next set of PSLs is due when? February, country?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That and not that I'm encouraging this, but I'm saying, in my humble opinion, if you want to sell out those PSLs, hey ho, Raheem's got to go. He's got to be up.
There you go.
There is no way you are going to sell this bill of goods to the fans that after mismanaging the first 2 years, Raheem is just going to magically be anointed with leadership skills and all is going to be well. We don't know if Penix is going to be back at the beginning of next year. We got some crises to manage. We don't know that certain players are going to be back next year. I have absolutely no confidence in Zach Robinson. They got to go. Bottom line, they got to go. And you got to do it before February because you got to hire a guy that the fans can get behind and believe in, right? Just my thoughts.
Coming from these bad seasons and, eight negative losing seasons in the Raheem situation, you have to get a coach that the fans get behind. So you just can't bring in some local joker from the Los Angeles Chargers because he did 3 years of special teams, or some guy from the from the Arizona Cardinals because he was their defensive coordinator. You got to bring in somebody that the fans would say, whoa, we got this guy, which is why on Wednesday I'm gonna mention a name, and matter of fact, I'll just mention it here today or this morning, and maybe you guys can sit there and dwell on it. That Mike Tomlin situation in Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah.
You hear what T. Will said? Oh, yeah.
I love me some Mike Tomlin. Now
that's Mike Tomlin.
That's a leader.
Because you're hearing about there you go, country. That's a leader. That's a guy with experience too as well, country. Remember you mentioned experience earlier, right? Mm-hmm. Can Mike Tomlin lead this Atlanta Falcons team to the next level? We'll talk about that on Wednesday night here on One Time for the Fan, because there is reports that maybe this could be possibly his last year in Pittsburgh. And of course, with the way that they lost, let me go back and look. The way that they lost the other day was not yesterday, but last week. Fans were kind of looking at it like, oh, I don't think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to make the playoffs and all this other stuff. And the Baltimore Ravens going to be a fight to the finish. They did beat the Ravens yesterday. But if Mike Tomlin is on the hot seat and he's on the way out, could he end up here in Atlanta? Maybe Arthur Blank might want to look at it and say, hey, that is Raheem's buddy. You want to go with buddy? Get Raheem out, get Mike Tomlin in, put some butts in some seats, and we can win some games. Mike McCarthy is another name too as well that fans have mentioned from time to time over the past couple of weeks, but we haven't seen Mike Tomlin. I mean, we haven't seen Mike McCarthy even come back and say that he wants to be a head coach again too as well. But then again, he could be like Buddy in the chair, like in Police Academy, just getting ready for that time where he can spin that chair around and he's sitting over there waiting to go coach a team. So hopefully Mike McCarthy's name might be in the mix in a couple of weeks. Maybe Mike Tomlin's name's in the mix in a couple of weeks. But please don't get no local joker from Tulane University or bringing some guy up from college who wants to be a head coach. Let's try to get somebody. If it ain't Lane Kiffin or Kirby Smart, I don't know who it's going to be. Big shout to Ghost Peppers. Big shout to Ghost Peppers back in the chat too as well. Ghost Peppers has been here on the channel in the chat talking Falcons football for a while here at One Time for the Fan. And, I see Ghost Peppers from time to time talking Falcons football and other chats too as well. And Ghost Peppers is right back here now talking Falcons football with us. So big shout out to Ghost Peppers. We says, facts, Kerry. If we bring Raheem back, then it's undeniable and clear as daylight. Arthur Blank get a kick out of the fans suffering from the team being a proven consistent loser. Now we're getting ready to wrap it up, but I did mention earlier, Atlanta United fans are they're totally a different breed. When they want something done, they will go and they will not boycott, but they will put on literally a massive wave of just, we're not showing up to games. Season ticket holders are getting ready to turn their tickets in unless we get a coaching change, unless we get this guy fired, unless we get a new team president, all this other type of stuff. And for some reason with Atlanta United, when they want something done, they get it done. But the Atlanta Falcons, we're sitting over here ranting and raving about bringing in new people, and it's not happening just as yet. So maybe we have to wait till the end of the season, and we can get what we want. So Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. T-Will, former ATL Sports, One Time for the Fan. Let's go ahead and get up out of here, man. I just want to do a quick pop-up podcast, and we ended up turning this into 2 hours. So this is great that Falcon fans are here talking Falcons football with us. So much passion and emotion within the fan base of people talking about what they want done, because these are people who do spend their money on merchandise. These are people who do spend their money going to the games, traveling to the games, even watching the games, taking the time out of their day to sit there and watch 4 quarters of the Falcons getting beat up on by the Seattle Seahawks, or even the New York Jets last week and stuff like that. Like, I really feel for y'all, because I'm a diehard Falcon fan too. And at the end of the day, I want to see this team win. But it's tough to know that our season was over. Honestly, our season was over in November. It started in September and it was over in November. And that's the disappointing part. Blue Jacket for Life said Raheem was the interim coach and he wasn't retained, and then Blank turned around to hire him later. Makes no sense. Zach is so arrogant that he didn't call plays in the preseason. Who does he think he is? We got Blue Jacket for Life in the chat too as well. Chrissy Lewis said it's been a great show. Big shout out to Chrissy Lewis. Carrie said great show, guys. Thank you all for everybody who tuned in tonight, or I keep saying tonight because we normally do our night shows, who tuned in today to talk Falcons football with us. We're going to go ahead and get up out of here. I'm not going to be sitting here concerned and worried about these Atlanta Falcons like that, because these guys get paid $1 million to go do their job, and I'm going to go get paid to make a couple million on GTA. So it's going to be great that I get a chance to go play the video game and hang out, because I had a big weekend away from the house. So much going on Friday at the Hawks game, and then Saturday, Georgia, Alabama, yesterday, Atlanta Falcons. So I was outside. But now your boy's back. We're going to have a good time. That's why I wanted to do this pop-up show. T-Will, former ATL Sports, One Time for the Fan, man. Here we go with your shout-outs. T-Will, you're muted.
My bad. Sorry about that.
You good, brother.
To everyone who joined us in the chat, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Even though I was late, as Jack says, but Jack knows why. I'm not going to get into that. Whatever.
You're good, brother. You're early in your world. Don't forget, you're in a different universe. There's the Marvel universe, and then there's T-Will's universe. So,
bro, I was knocked out. I did not expect. I woke up, and here's how I found out. I woke up, and I'm like, One Time for the Fan. Am I
is this Wednesday?
All right. I'm like, it's Monday morning. What?
Is that a replay show? Is he finding out how to do replays now?
Right. I'm like, what is going on? But anyway, hey, to everyone who joined us in the chat, thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk about the Falcons with you. We love the Falcons. Y'all love the Falcons. And of course, we love y'all. So thank you for joining us. Appreciate that. Want to thank God for waking me up this morning. Thank God for sending all of y'all in my path. Again, would like to remind you guys tonight at 8 p.m., please join us on For My ATL Sports 1 on YouTube, as I will be interviewing the lovely ladies of AFN. And please, again, don't hesitate and check us out if you can. Last but not least, as always, I want to thank Brother Jack and my brother Eric Parker for giving my start in this business. And Jack, it's on you, sir.
Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button one time for the fan, from the fan, for the fan. Big shout out to Miss Carey, big shout out Bodie, big shout out T Will, former ATL Sports, one time for the fan. Once again, Falcon fans, we do this show for y'all, right? It's from the fan, for the fan. I continue to say it all the time. One time for the fan, it's from the fan, for the fan. We are all fans of the Atlanta Falcons here, and we had that Jaguars fan in here earlier too. But he's a fan of many teams, but he was in the chat too as well. But one time for the fan is just like you hear on this podcast, we're just a diehard group of Falcon fans. We just want to see wins. As you heard this morning on the podcast, we didn't bash any players. We didn't call out people calling them their, bums and trash and F this guy and do all that. We're not doing that. These guys get paid $1 million. They know their job. They know their role. They know what they're supposed to do. And they're putting their bodies on the line every day to go out there and do the best they can for this fan base, for their families, for the organization, so we can get some wins. Unfortunately, it's just not working out in our favor. But then again, at the end of the day, a lot of us are either at work right now, or we have to go to work tomorrow, or we have to go to the store to go pick up groceries, or we have to go to the gym to work out. We got other stuff to do, right? So you can't spend your 24/7 ranking on the Falcons because we got things to do, right? Even these Falcon players have to close their locker and head home and get in the car and go take care of life. So you should go do the same. So Falcon fans, don't forget, man, thank you for not only being here on this pop-up show, but of course, we'll be back on Wednesday night at 8, Friday morning's breakfast with one time for the fan at 9, and of course, our Sunday night show at 8, because the Falcons do not play on Sunday. So that's actually pretty cool. The breakfast with one time for the fan show follows the Thursday night game against the Bucs. So that's cool. We got something else to talk about. So Wednesday show followed by the Friday morning show. We are right back at it. Lisa Shepard, everybody in the chat who continues to rep the Atlanta Falcons, please keep doing it. Please keep rocking with the team because at the end of the day, we are all we got. And thank you so much for being here on One Time for the Fan. Of course, one thing we like to do before we end this podcast, if you guys can do that with me, I'm going to go ahead and put it on the screen right here. If you guys just want to go ahead and drop a rise up in the chat, man, drop a rise up. We all had a great conversation today. We all talked Falcons football amongst each other. People even giving their comments about Raheem, people giving their comments about Zach Robinson, comments about Penix, comments about Kirk Cousins, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, everything. But at the end of the day, we are still Falcon fans. So if you're watching, if you're listening, wherever you are, just drop a rise up in the chat because you're not going nowhere as a Falcon fan. You're going to be here. Raheem might be gone. Zach Robinson might be gone. But as a fan, we will always be here. We always got to with a rise up. T. Will, thank you so much for being here, man. My brother.
Thank you for having me, brother.
Carrie, everybody who's been rocking with us, man, you already know what it is. And we will see you